What up, Gen Geek fam? It is I, the OG, Doc Solo of Generation Geek. And man, do we have a treat for you. If you guys have watched the channel for any length of time, or maybe you're new, but if you're part of the Generation Geek family or geek in general, you know the importance of geek culture in our lives. And nothing speaks geek culture more than your local comic shop. It's where many of us got our starts, where we kind of first became exposed to these fantastic worlds and these incredible stories that remain near and dear to us over many years. Well, if you have been watching the news or just aware on the interwebs, local comic book shops have been rapidly shuttering and closing their doors due to the state of flux that the comic industry in general has been in for quite some time. And those that are still open and hanging on, I think that we really need to support. And so in that effort, we decided that we wanted to start doing a series called Comic Shop Talk here at Generation Geek. You guys know comic shops are kind of like our own little version of Cheers, for those of you who remember Cheers. You know, where you can kind of go in and everybody knows your name, and all it takes is one book, one question, one inquiry, one statement from all of us self-proclaimed comic book geniuses that seem to be in no shortage in the comic book arena. One of us sparks a question and the whole comic shop joins in. And we do that a lot at my local comic shop. And so what I wanted to do was to start something here at Generation Geek, kind of letting you guys peek behind the curtains if you guys have not been to a local comic book shop in some time, or have never been to a comic shop in some time. This is the shop where I cut my teeth in. When I tell you, literally, it was the first comic shop experience that ignited the fire and the passion of comics and all things geek culture way back when I was a wee little lad in high school. And I've been a part of this shop since the original owners. Now, since it's changed hands and has grown and expanded, and we have followed it throughout its expansion over the years. And I brought my son to the shop. Many of the guys remember him when he was below my knee, and now he's above my head. But this is part of our extended family. And if you enjoy all things comics, you know, support your local comic shop. But this is our homage to the importance and the special place that comic shops hold in our hearts. And so with this, we're starting our new series called Comic Shop Talk. And mind you, this is very raw footage. It's going to be lightly edited to protect the innocent in the videos. But it kind of welcomes you into our space if you're not part of that space, and invites you to come join us in the space that transcends race, color, religion, political positions, the whole 9 yards. We kind of leave all that at the door when we go to the comic shop. And sometimes we don't, but it's all in love and all in good fun. And so hopefully you guys enjoy this first segment of Comic Shop Talk. And afterwards, you know, as you're watching, leave something in the comments to let us know if this is vibing with you and you want us to do more shots like this, because we already got them scheduled with the shop and we talk about some really good things. And so a little preface though, this was meant to be a very rough drive-by in this effort. There was no intention to really post this, but after having a brief conversation, we decided why not just go ahead and break the ice and get the ball rolling. And if you guys want more, we'll invest more into it and make it a part of our regular schedule here at Generation Geek. So check it out, episode 000, not even episode 1 of Comic Shop Talk. Check it out. Oh my gosh.
What?
They're trying to take all my money.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
XMen
I digitized everything. So
All
I
right.
digitized the subcards. There was a couple of cards you were actually on, believe it or not.
Yeah. So I know you wanted all the Blood Hunt stuff, and then you were on these two.
Yeah.
So if this is accurate, cool. If there's more stuff,
Well, the only thing I'm not doing with Bloodhead, I'm not doing all of the spin-offs.
you're not doing the minis?
No.
So there might be some minis in there, but
It's
I
fine.
have it separated so that you're just going to be getting Blood Hunts, because there's Blood Hunt main and Blood Hunt minis.
Okay.
for
4
all
or
the stuff.
5. Jed's been screwing the pooch on. Oh, XMen 97s. Yes.
Oh, hey, were all those blanks spoken for?
Yes.
Hey.
I think I gave you one.
Okay, cool.
Ultimate Spider-Man. I hear that we actually get some action finally.
I have no idea.
With the
I'm
Kingpin?
not a Spider-Man
Yeah.
fan in the slightest.
Same.
You know Spider-Man. So, and who are you, gentlemen?
My name's Rob.
Rob, I'm
Yeah.
Solo.
Solo?
Yes.
Good to meet you.
It's a pleasure. You the new guy here?
Sort of. I'm a customer, and I just volunteered my time to come help them out.
That's what's up.
'Cause I have some
Awesome.
time off my normal gig, so
What days are you gonna be here?
I don't really know yet.
Okay.
Kind
Yeah, I'm
of
trying to recruit for the thing, and we are recording, by the way.
okay.
Just so you know. So this is something that we, me and come on, get in here, man. I just want to make sure everything's in frame. Get in here. This is just a dry. This is not going. Are you ready for your close? This is not being posted. This is just kind of a test dry run. All right, let's pause right there. The initial plan was definitely not to post that conversation. It was really meant just to be a dry run to make sure everything worked. The audio was good. The framing was good. But we started getting our juices flowing and got into some conversation, and the guys thought it was a good idea to just go ahead and get the ball rolling. So here we are. Back to the episode. To see the framing of the possible camera, to make sure that this mic that I purchased is picking up audio, which it seems to be. Yes, we seem to be doing pretty good. So what we're going to be doing, my son and I have a YouTube channel called Generation Geek. This is my son Jordan.
Rob, likewise.
Yes, we have a channel called Generation Geek,
Okay.
and I've been a sub and member since the original store back in Calumet
Sweet.
City.
Okay, it's only been a couple of years for me, but hopefully
Yeah.
I'll be around for a little bit.
But loyal, and we just kind of want to put the comic shop culture on the map.
Great.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so typically I'll have a live light there so that people can come back here and know that there's a recording, so they come back here knowing that it's going to be. So you walk back here, you might be on camera, right? Okay.
Yeah, so we're keeping them on 3,000 on, but
You know, and I've been doing the comic reviews. It's been a selective crowd, the comic book reviews. It's been selective. His reviews are like wildfire. You know, is with the his versus battles and power scaling.
Yeah.
And, but the comic book, the thing about the comic book reviews is it's more like guys like us. You know what I mean? Because I do such a deep dive. Hey, what's up, man? Do such a deep dive, and but he believes that I should keep it up because it's people. The comments we're getting are really.
you're getting the actual writer and artist to actually engage, and
Yeah.
they're coming and commenting on the
Brian
video.
Hitch commented.
Nice.
So,
You know.
you wanted something if,
Yeah.
if your
Right.
first video does that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Let's see, because you're going to get their followers that come
Yeah.
and watch
Sure.
you because
Yep.
you know
Yeah.
you're giving them good or bad information. That's going to be what they're coming for.
he's-
And then your stuff is fan theory
Yes,
based,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
fan
See, and
theory,
that's going to
fun
be
stuff.
massive. That's why Death Battle. That's why Superpower Beatdown got huge. Is because it's all fan
Superpower
theory. It's all the
Beatdown.
stuff. It's you're talking about literally the stuff that we argue about. in
Exactly.
shops,
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All that, and that's what they love to do. They love to argue.
So,
so-
yeah, the drama behind all of
Man,
it.
it's Jeffrey drama, so I always have to come in, you know, with all my research done and all my I's dotted, all my T's crossed. Because if you miss one,
There's somebody that knows that little itty bitty minute detail.
counting up area
Yeah.
thing,
Dude.
I'm counting up area, boy.
they were critiquing how he was pronouncing it.
The only thing I said wrong was they like how I pronounce his name.
It doesn't matter. The internet will eviscerate you no matter what.
No matter what.
They are brutal,
To a
man.
magneto.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Listen,
god.
Magneto. Are you fucking
Magneto is crazy.
Yeah.
They brutalized him on and I'm like, is this really a conversation? Or are you guys
Not
just
that
like
the
trolling?
scaling was wrong, not that the feats were misread. Just that was the only thing.
That's the only thing. And people want more. See, he and I both, we like obscure characters. You know, he likes OP characters. I like UP characters.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I like characters that
If you got any questions or anything or need anything moved, just
you know,
feel free to go ahead.
have to try to figure it out by wit and by, you know, IQ. 'cause they're
Hawkeye, Black Widow,
Daredevil.
stuff like that. Sure.
Yeah, Moon Knight.
I'm Team UP. I think.
Yeah, I'm team UP.
I like the more powerful characters because you have to write a good story to make them work.
Good point.
So if you put Dr. Manhattan in the story, it has to be a good story.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Also,
what
May Water Smoke
Yep.
good. He's godly powerful. You got all these humans. How do you make a story about this where he can't just solve everything, and then
Sure.
you have
Yeah.
Ozymandias, and then you have all the things that he did, and then you like, wow.
Yeah.
So that's why I like him. It's just when they're written by like Century and stuff like that, where you're just like, there's just lazy writing and stuff like that.
Sure, and there's kind of a big saturation issue with that.
Exactly. So, and then they just keep power creeping everybody. So now Carol Danvers is stronger when before she was the laughing stock of the superhero community and all this other stuff. So
Right.
the power creeping thing is another thing. But when they're written well, and
I mean, that's a compelling point. I never looked at it that way. Hello.
Whoa.
I never looked at it that way. That it requires significant writing chops to make those characters work. Then how do you explain with many OPs is it because do you think that the writers inherently avoid them because of the corners that they can write themselves into? Because like Blue Marvel, you have to kind of push him. Century, you kind of got to push him back. To put him in a corner.
Where you going to like DC character where they're only dealing with like abstract and powerful beings, like the Justice League. Everybody's so powerful, like you have nobody else for them to fight but somebody like Antimatter or because they're just so strong. Like the random villain of the week is not strong enough. So the Blue Marvel is falls into that category. But the thing I like about how he's handled is that he is only brought out in big books, so he doesn't have many like low feature, low showings because the books that he's required to be in. If he does lose, it's to somebody like Thanos. He's like, okay,
Sure.
And then Ultimates, I think
Yep,
he
the
was
Ultimate
more-
run.
He was
Yep.
in a support role.
Yep, in a support
he was
role.
the tech guy.
And he depends on his intelligence versus his strength. He never really goes, and I love that like that. And but when he does go out, he's able to fight against a Beyonder. Beyonder. And he destroys the shield because he's antimatter. And it's like you see how powerful he is, but he's still the leader. He's still the brains at the same time.
Yep.
But then Sentry, it's like they don't know what to do with him.
It's like he's there and he can make them money, so they're like, figure it out.
Right.
And then anybody will take that job because like then you get to write or do art for Marvel.
For sure.
You don't give a shit.
Right.
Sentry, you're like, fine, pay me. I'll
Right.
draw Sentry doing whatever you want.
Right.
And it's just really uninspired
Well, that's the
storytelling.
Steranko Grab and Shield.
Yeah.
What's your low-selling book? I want
Right.
that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make something out of it.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, didn't they do the same thing with the Blade movie? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wanted, even Wesley Snipes, the story goes, he wanted Black Panther.
Yep.
At the time, he had his own production studio, Amin Ra, and he wanted the rights to Black Panther. And at the time, Marvel, I think, was trying to dig itself out of its hole,
Yeah.
out of the bankruptcy
They
hole.
was selling all their properties.
Yeah.
Whoever would take them at a decent price. Yeah.
How much you got?
How much you got?
Right.
All right, you got Fantastic Four. You got Spider-Man.
You could have never made me believe, prior to that, though, that Blade would have been a solvent character in any real way.
No.
I mean, come on, look at the history of the character, and not only did he make it work, but literally, it's even in that book. I read the book, the MCU, Autistic. He is credited. They give him his credit for launching the MCU. It was officially launched with Blade.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Sweet.
You have to give him credit for it.
So I don't know what's happening with this Blood Hunt though, man. This Blood Hunt.
I heard that all the tie-ins are very they're tie-ins. They actually connect. Like you actually have to read all of them to get the full picture versus it's just like a throwaway story. That's at least what I heard.
I think they are better than
better.
some
Are
of the past events.
Yeah, like Civil War and stuff like that.
They're not quite so the obvious cash grab.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like the character, then it's more relevant to you. But
For sure.
I think the Jubilee. I'm an X fan. I like Jubilee.
Right.
Is her story meaningful?
Just trying some different placements.
They used her because only a year ago
She was a vampire at one point.
She was a vampire.
Right. Yeah, she was a vampire at one
Yep.
point.
and when she came across that group of the Unforgiven.
Okay.
And those are good vampires that all take superhero names. So they want to be superhero vampires.
Unforgiven. I missed that. What was that in?
Missed that one.
It was its own thing. I think it started in some other book that eventually it was Unforgiven Spider-Man, Unforgiven, X-Men, Unforgiven, Cap. So it was 3 one-shots. In the trade, they threw that Blade Vampire Nation one-shot in it. To, put the trade together.
Cool.
And it was decent. It was fun. But the Jubilee tie-in is basically, where's this little group of superhero vampires, good vampires, what are they doing?
Really?
So that's the point of the Jubilee.
Wow. Interesting. Absolutely. Never read that.
So with the setup you're doing here,
This is just a dry run.
and what's your ultimate goal for the live coming into shops?
Raising awareness of the value of the culture. Because LCSs are hurting.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's why I'm here.
Yeah, LCSs are hurting, and he grew up in this. I run an online comic art school.
Oh, cool.
And so that's my little stand up there, Ka-Pow.
Okay.
And so that's me. But I've worked in the industry for over 30 years, in and around it. And he grew up in the culture. And so the channel is Generation Geek, just us enjoying the realm, the spectrum of geekdom.
Yeah, celebrating it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Exactly. So I approach it more from, Generation X, the old guy, that industry professional, and him as a millennial growing up in the culture, attending all the cons and and now the grandkids, you know what I'm saying, having it, and just the importance of it. And so we wanted to come into the comic book shops to kind of show the purpose of it all. You know what I mean?
It all starts here.
It starts here.
Like if you didn't have these, then you don't have anything that
else
came out of comics, really. Yeah.
No, I mean, since they left the newsstands, this has been a haven for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Eddie and I talk about it a lot of time. And me and Dave, we have these discourses that transcend color, politics. You dig what I'm saying? Conservative, liberal, professed. You know what I'm saying? And we can meet here and we can talk about it without any hate, no vitriol. Because what ties us together is the love of this medium.
Really depends.
Conservative, liberal, insane.
You know what I mean? And so just to kind of, invite those in. Because even though, back in the day, and Eddie and I have talked about this, foot traffic was king. But this is the new foot traffic.
Yep.
This is it right here. It's on YouTube. It's on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And so as our channel's going pretty fast for a channel its size.
The current pushing 3,000 subscribers, right?
With less, we don't even have 80 videos up yet.
Nice. Wow. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are hungry for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's nice that you guys can bring in like the generational jump too, because then it's like 2 totally different perspectives, but then people can see like how that's like synthesized because you guys are family. So that's cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of the point of it, and I adore this dude. This is my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's great having you back.
Yeah, I took a long hiatus. The price forced me out of it. Quite honestly, it was the cover price that forced me out of it.
Comic books every week growing up, like every week.
Yep.
And when them red bags,
Little thin red bags.
Thin red bags. Yeah.
Big Mike remembers you coming in.
Yeah, when I was closed out, and I was really looking at all the toys and just it's shaped. It's all for me. It's always been my escape. For all of us, obviously, it's been our escape, but especially for me, and being different for most comic book geeks, being an athlete and stuff like that. This was when I wasn't playing basketball, and when I wasn't fighting, it was comic books.
Yeah.
Anything that video game and comic book, it was always video game and comic books, and it was something else that I couldn't relate to with anybody else, especially growing up in the city. It was nobody else that was reading comic books, and everybody thought it was cool. But it just wasn't cool then. Now, of course, it's pop culture now.
Yeah, now it's just cool when you're in the house.
Yeah, it's cool when you're in the house.
When you're in the
I used to bring
house,
comic books to school. Teachers like, oh, you have to, you can bring a book to school to read, and then
You would bring a comic book.
read comic books, and I was like, each book is a chapter. And the teacher's like, okay. And I read it, and all the boys and guys were like, oh, that's cool. What is that? What is it? And they would want to see what it was and read it and stuff like that. But where I grew up, that wasn't a thing to do. But it was my escape from everything. It still is to this day.
And this is, you know, to answer your question, this is really, you know, when you go on, especially like on social media and YouTube, you have like all the panel discussions, right? And people are like, well, oh my gosh, I love this discussion because it reminds me of being in the comic shop. So I'm like, well, let's actually go to the comic shop and have the discussion. You know, let's let it not be like the comic shop, but actually in the comic shop.
Sure, yeah.
And invite those, because a lot of people really that are, thanks to whatever you may think of the current movie incarnations, but in spite of, there's a lot of people that are curious about the culture, but don't really have a way in. You dig what I'm saying? They're like
extremely intimidating.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I was with books when I first started. I appreciated the stuff as a kid, and then I was taking an exam for my undergraduate at McCormick Place, and just happened to see people in costume going to C2E2. What the fuck is this? So and the guy at the booth, I bought a ticket for the next day, but he let me go in for free for like the last 3 hours. And I walked around and I found Marvel, and they had some freebies. And I was like, God, I have no idea. So I just grabbed a few of those and read them, and then I would go into my shop, and I had a guy, Dark Tower Comics on the north side of the city. I think his name is Mark. Looks exactly like you. Got the long white hair, big beard.
there's a type.
Literally like the comic book guy, but just older. Like from The Simpsons, you know, exact,
Comic ever.
Yeah. And that particular guy was almost like that esoteric and like and sort of like rude on the surface, but then once you like start talking nerdy and get to know him a little better, it gets a little easier, and he's like, okay, you're not
why is that our type?
It's like, you know nothing. It's like, you know nothing.
he's like, it's such a pleb. But I would come in and like ask questions, and I wasn't like scared of him. I was like, I just want to chat, just want to talk, and then got to be buddies with him over time, and ever since then, like, like there's a reason why I'm here now. It's because of that.
I love it.
Getting into it at the beginning was like incredibly like I don't know, I had no resource. So it'd be nice to tune into a channel and check out some guys talking about stuff and say like, maybe I'll go give that a try.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I you know, it's funny because I love that, because I think that inherently, like when you talked about how he was kind of defensive, I think that's our nature, because we're all introverts natively. You know what I mean?
And I think us older, we grew up when it was
not cool.
Not cool. It was your thing.
We were the ones getting pulled.
Yeah, it wasn't cool, man. Yeah.
You read Superman comics.
But now you want to come in and now that it's cool, huh? Now you want to be part of it now that it's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to your point, you know, if he was in our age range, because of that level of distrust, like, are you safe? Do you come in peace?
Right.
Or you come to ridicule and mock? Because that's what we grew up in. You know what I mean?
That's just the default. Yeah.
Good point. And then once they kind of once someone shows that no, I'm sincerely interested. You know, I want to learn the handshake. I want to. You know what I'm saying? I want the Dakota ring. You know, we kind of put our guard down.
Our defense is down.
You know, so because more times than not, because like I'm a retired cop, and so when I would go to shops in uniform, they would not know what to make of me when I walked in. Seriously.
Hold on. Cool guy wants to read comic books.
Right. You know.
Must be a troll.
Seriously, they didn't know what to make of me. Like I'm like, no, I'm part of the family. Trust. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not doing an investigation, and no, I'm here to see what came out, what I missed, any new action figures come in.
Absolutely.
You know, all of that.
That's the reason why you get up and go to work.
Right.
Not the reason, but like it's a part of it. You get that cash, and then you got a little hole in your pocket.
And I had a budget, but like when
The reason why I work here, it's not free will. It is addiction. It is a debilitating disease.
Yep.
it is.
And
Unlike
this
the
right
bar,
here
there's
is the
something
junkie
afterwards.
process. Yeah.
This is relatively harmless, and if anything, it's good for your brain. So
absolutely.
It's got that going for it.
Absolutely. I remember having
Well said. You should do a Dare commercial.
I am the wrong guy to ask to do a different.
I remember having spirited discussions with the wife over something petty, and I would tell her, like, it was a defense for me. I'm like, you talk to your girlfriends, and they have all these other issues with their dude. Your old man goes to work, and you're complaining about comic books. Man, you dig what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't drink, I don't smoke.
It's like,
what are we talking about here? How does he just spend at the store?
Not out hoeing around drinking. You know where I am.
Yeah, that's true.
You were tripping on it because I remember, like, when he was little. I don't know if you remember. And the city, I would come home with a stack, and she'd be like, "How much you spend?" And you gotta remember, and back then it was literally. It was literally walk in with $30.
Yeah, it's about half.
Walk out with 20, 25 bucks. Yeah. You know what I mean? At $30, you got 20, 25 bucks. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So many books. I used to slide through them.
He used to get to him before me. He used to irritate me. You know how that
took a while for you before you learn the finer parts of reading, of messing with him?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, my thing was he would just get to him before me. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of looking forward to. I'm not gonna read them right now. It's gonna be my treat for later.
I used to take all the ones I wanted. Go to my room, like, whoop, and leave. And he's like, "Where my books at?" I was like, I read these for her. Yeah. I just run through them too, just like
he's just run through them, man.
Run through them. I'm like, no, I have no appreciation for the art, nothing. I was like, no, I just want the story.
Oh, wow.
Give me a story, some cool splash pages, and I'm good.
Wow. Yeah, right. Action. I couldn't complain because he's reading. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're after the artwork, we're after the cover art and splash pages.
Oh, this looks good. Oh,
well, you're saying you were about to pick your battle.
Pick your battle.
But the same thing. It's just like don't. But never mind.
Right? Can you let me read them first, at least? You know what I mean? But he'd go through them, man, and so it carries. And now at the grandparent stage, you see me. I brought my granddaughter up in here. You know what I mean? And I think if more people knew, I think a lot of people don't know why we value the LCS so much. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing, is so people can see why.
Well, to segue to a discussion we have quite often, the respect for this in just societal, they're owned by people that don't respect them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The executives, board and lawyers and MBAs running these companies don't respect their own product.
Just because they don't know what they actually have. They don't.
They know what makes them money.
They know it makes them money, yeah.
But,
but they don't understand how fickle comic fans are. You start screwing one of our characters,
my gosh,
you will not buy it no more. We'll wait till the next. We'll wait till the next writer comes.
Well, they start wait till the next artist comes. MCU though, they start messing up the characters so bad. Right. Yeah. They start directing all the agendas and stuff or whatever else they had in there, and now people like, all right,
are tapping out.
They're tapping out. They're not going to go see it. Like, all right, Captain Marvel, I'm good. I'm a pass.
Well, I mean, the recent thing with like Acolyte, like the people that are writing it, they outright says like, we brought in people that know nothing of Star Wars at all. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah. Star Wars fans,
regardless of anything external, why would you bring somebody in that is just not familiar with Star Wars? What sense does that
make? That's crazy.
Well, what was sick?
I get the fresh eyes thing, but give them somebody that's been involved to bounce things off
to that, but there needs to be a gatekeeper.
Like, and
there needs to be a gatekeeper.
Just like
editor-in-chief.
They just said, here.
This is great. But it needs to be.
They went and picked up somebody from a Star Trek convention for this stuff. Like, I swear.
But to your point,
these are moles.
To your point, Dave, it is so counterintuitive to even the most successful properties that preceded it. Mm-hmm. Right? When we look at XMen from '93, right? When they brought in Larry Houston, right? Larry Houston was a fan. Right? When they were trying to get the rights to do, I forget her name, when she was trying to get the rights to do an X-Men property after the abysmal failure of Pride of the X-Men, that was her first foray. I forget her name. And then when she got elevated, in the corporate ladder, and she loved X-Men, she brought in Larry Houston. He was a fan.
Yep.
That's why it worked.
You could tell.
You know what I mean? It worked.
He knew the story. He knew what he was doing.
Right. Bo DeMaio, even though he's no longer with them, X-Men 97 is killed. Why?
We'll see how long that lasts.
Because he's a fan.
Right.
He's a fan. You know.
Yeah, it just seems so strange that it's taken so long for them to. I feel like the shift is just starting, which the timing is kind of unfortunate because there's so much stuff.
Right.
But it's starting to transition into the hands of the people that grew up with it, and get it, and care about it. But my fear is that it's like a little too late because like now they're putting out really good stuff, but it's just gonna sort of get washed out with all the stuff that's that hasn't been as good,
Right.
and it just happened so fast. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, people they've been burned.
Yeah.
Like,
people have been burned.
the fans have been burned, so it's like.
I mean, and everything they're doing with like the Marvel stuff right now is like outside of Endgame. Like you brought in like the only two characters that have had really any type of like build up to like get just any exposure was the guy playing Falcon, Anthony Mackie, and then the guy playing Winter Soldier. I don't know his name off the top of my head. Those are the only ones that you've seen any other movie.
Stan. I know what you're talking about.
But like, you didn't see Captain Marvel.
Right.
Nobody cares about Captain Marvel.
Right.
Not discounting Brie Larson at all, but nobody cares about that character.
Nobody cares about Brie Larson anymore either.
I have my own opinion on her as an actress personally, but like the character, nobody cares about.
Right.
And anybody that does care about Captain Marvel, they're thinking the old Captain Marvel before it was Brie Larson's character, Cara Danvers.
Right.
There was an order to things,
right?
And even when they did they did the actual Captain Marvel movie that was based back in the day, it's like that would have been a perfect opportunity to do a movie centered around the original Captain Marvel. Marvel have
the mantle pass.
And there it is. Like that would have been great.
Right.
Nope.
Okay.
It's something different.
And then look at even properties with characters that they are doing. Perfect opportunity. Perfect squandered opportunity to do Planet Hulk, World War Hulk.
Oh my God,
with
man!
Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Like, dude, come on.
Well, let me.
And the fact that they took Thor and like made his stuff more comedic,
made him a stand-up comic.
Yeah,
tried to make him Dave Chappelle.
No, I'm just not. No, Thor's not.
He's not that.
Love and Thunder was terrible.
They just do Scar and She-Hulk. I'm like, that's a whole Hulk movie. That's his first spin-off. His son coming to the planet to kill him because he left him.
That's a movie.
That's a movie.
Why they all of a sudden show up and it's like, hey,
this is my son.
This is my son.
At the barbecue. Wait. When I seen that and he looked confused, I'm like, like Scar looked confused. I was like, yeah, we are too, buddy.
And there you have it, all my Gen Geek fam. Listen, if you haven't seen it already, the comic shop is a very special place. And it's very near and dear to my heart and my son's heart and hopefully my grandkids, as we desire to really bring those outside of the culture inside, behind the curtain, to kind of see what all of this hubbub is about at Marvel and DC and why we're so passionate and the comments that we make online and all the channels that have popped up around it. If you're curious, hopefully this helps to satisfy some of that curiosity. And we want you guys in our space. This is how we keep this industry going. And how about the conversation? I mean, there was no intention to actually post what was said until after we just got in it. But this happens literally every time I'm at the comic shop. Every time. It's almost becoming a running joke. And Rob and Dave and Eddie and Jay and you guys, some guys you haven't met. Listen, these are our peeps, y'all. These are our peeps. And I tell you, it's pure joy connecting with them and having these conversations on a weekly basis. And so we want to bring you more, but we want to hear what you have to say. If you like what you hear, if you like what you saw, leave something in the comments letting us know, hey man, comic shop talk is something that we kind of want on the menu here at Generation Geek. And we'll bring it to you. I mean, it's nothing because we're there every week anyway. Actually, today's Wednesday, July 3rd. And I just finished editing what you just saw. And now I'm headed to the comic shop because you'll see the same thing on. You're going to see me in the next comic shop talk wearing this. I'm headed right there right now to engage with my family from a whole nother bloodline. And so let us know that you rock with us. Like, subscribe, follow, all the things here at Generation Geek. And spread the word. Let people know that, there's generations of geeks that are passionate, that love this, and that want to see it continue. Yes, we're doing critiques, we're doing versus battles, all that stuff. But these are just extensions of who we are. And this allows us to express how much we love this. And if you have a topic that you'd like us to discuss at the comic shop, leave it in the comments. Let us know. And if you have a comic book shop in the Chicagoland area that you'd like to host an episode of Comic Shop Talk, hit us up. Hit us up. We'll see if we can make it happen. But with that being said, listen, remember, this is all about fun and family, y'all. So whatever you say in the comments, keep it geek. Keep it geek. We are here to escape. We are here to enjoy the common culture of comics and fantasy and anime that brings us together, because it's easier to focus on things that keep us apart. Let's at least have a place where we can indulge as geeks together like a Gen Geek fan. And so with that being said, I'm Doc Solo, the OG for Generation Geek, and I'm out of your life, out of your hair, Solo out. Peace.
1 hour later.
So, update. I will not be wearing the same thing that you see me in now at the comic shop for the next episode of Comic Shop Talk, because nobody was there. I mean, the shop was open. It is the day before the 4th of July. Apparently it was a slow release day in the industry. I did get a couple of books. I might review them upcoming, but just to kind of let you know, I got Blood Hunt, Black Panther #3, which I'm kind of digging. Blood Hunters, we'll check it out. Werewolf by Night, we'll check it out. And of course, always, your boy's got to have his blank sketch covers so he can make some coin doing the thing that he does. And so, but anyway, we're going to be doing this regularly, hopefully. I'm just going to keep bringing the stuff with me, and whoever's there that wants to get on camera and have a real comic shop conversation, we're going to do that. So, until next time, have a happy and safe 4th of July. It's your old boy's birthday, so another lap around the sun. I'm grateful to God for that. But God bless you. We'll see you later on Generation Geek. Solo out. Peace.